Hello, 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 you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dear Black Woman, a podcast featuring Black women from different countries and different parts of the world, where we focus on global issues that affect Black women. I am your host, Cammie Red, here with my co-host Lauren Edwards and Nicole Davis, and today we're exploring a topic that affects all of us, even if it sometimes feels like it's far away. We're talking about global politics. In this episode titled Borders and Barriers, How Global Politics Shape the Lives of Black Women, we'll be diving into how international policies and the recent U.S. election results impact Black women's lives worldwide, from immigration policies and economic sanctions to healthcare access and social policies. We're looking at how these decisions influence our safety, opportunities, and qualities of life. We'll also discuss the powerful role of Black women in political movements and the importance of our voices in elections and the ways cross-cultural solidarity can help us break down borders and barriers. So let's get into it with Nicole and Lauren. And Lauren, we are so happy that you are back and feeling better.
Yes, Lauren, welcome back. We missed you last week.
We missed you last
I
week.
miss you too. I love the ladies. And now I am back. I am back. I am back.
You're back for a very important
I
conversation.
know, right? It looks been happening.
Let's kick this off because I already know what's on everybody's mind, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Right now, everybody is focused on the USA, and that is because we just had our recent presidential election, and Donald Trump won.
Really?
Yes, he won.
Why? Sorry, I'm going to dive straight in. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. I'm going to ask you why she did not win. Give me two major reasons.
I'm going to be
one for Cammie and one for Nicole.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I got a slew of reasons. So I'm going to just dive right into my beliefs. I'm going to say something that a lot of people have not paid attention to. First of all, she's an ethnic woman, okay? And one of the things that we all need to give way to is we're ethnic women. And what I mean by ethnic women, Black women, Hispanic women, any of those women are when it comes to U.S. politics. I've got some facts and some points that I want to talk about outside of Kamala as well to show you exactly where we are in political history here in the United States. See, as much as people like to think we're forward, we're not as forward as you think we are. And one of the things I posted on my Facebook page this morning is we think in terms of what's going on in our city and what's around us. And I've traveled throughout the entire United States, in rural America and in urban America, in big cities and small towns, all of that. I am not surprised, okay? I'm not surprised. Here's why. We live in a very alpha male dominated society. We live in a very white supremacist based society. So one of the things I want you guys to really focus on is this. No Black woman has ever governed any state in the United States. Why in the world would they allow her to be a president?
100%. 100%. So Nicole, what was your reasoning behind it? What would you say the one reason why you believe she was not elected, other than obvious
white privilege at its best?
Yeah,
really. So nobody thinks outside of this it had nothing to do with her color or her gender.
Yeah, it does. It has everything to do with
it. Because what it really shows is that the one thing that came out of this that is positive out of this is Black women have each other's back.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. That was the thing. But
then from my understanding with the breakdown, Black men voted for her as well, right? Because I thought
yes, they did. They did actually.
The only ones who didn't really vote for her was white male and Hispanic males?
No, that's not true.
White male, Hispanics, white women.
Yeah, white women.
No. When I mean that, I mean majority.
I'm telling you, majority white women.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw when I was looking at the stats, it looked like it. Like
no, so white women it was at 54% for Trump. Hispanic women and Hispanic men, I believe let me pull this up really quickly and I'll tell you, I'll give you the exact numbers.
Yes,
so,
I have the thing for you right
yeah.
here.
So
it says
for white, I'll just go white voters, period. White voters, 55% were for Trump, 43% were for Kamala. When it came to Hispanic voters, 45% were for Trump, which was up, not down, but up from their 32% in 2020. And Kamala received 54% of their votes. But I know Nicole has it broken down even more. I also want to talk about what two Black women are now serving in the Senate. That is something that has never happened before in the United States simultaneously. So I need you guys to understand that. No,
baby steps, basically.
Yeah,
you can't go. But can I just say, the rest of the world is looking at United States, and they are actually laughing their ass off. Not in it, like, they actually are. And the reason why as well is because I don't even want to be disrespectful, but Mr. Biden, literally is being held together by an oxygen machine. And yet he managed to win. So what we're even saying is someone who is halfway.
So let me say this to you about Biden, and I want you guys to understand something, okay? Biden, and I posted this on my Facebook page again this morning as well. Neither party is for us, okay? Neither party, not Democrat nor Republican, is for us. Biden has done a lot of things in his years in Senate and in office that went against Black people, okay? He put in place some laws like our 3 strikes and you're outlaw that puts you in jail regardless of what crimes you committed. That was implemented by him, and that was when he was in office. He is a white male. Do you understand that?
What I was saying is that the United States and the people of United States, what I was trying to say is they would rather even vote for someone who is not even like of any strong health than a woman of color. Like, it doesn't matter. We'd rather someone who is convicted.
But it says everything about the mentality of about what is happening. People are, and I'm going to say this, people are fearing us and our advance
massively.
Let's remind again. Let's remind that we are the most educated. Black women are the most educated group in the U.S. bar none.
And look at Kamala. Let me just give you some real tips about her. Kamala has been a prosecutor. She ran for Senate. She served as vice president. Who is more qualified to run this country than her?
I rest my case.
And that's not, I'm not even.
At this point, Taylor Swift. They're going to take her first.
But no, Taylor Swift actually came out and said, we need Kamala in office. So my point to
you, and then they went, what about you, Taylor? We'd rather take you than Kamala, even though she's more.
So here's the thing. Let's look at this and let's break this down. Here's also a fact that we cannot overlook. Kamala only had 170 days to talk to the American public.
Why though? Why?
Because Joe Biden, who was supposed to be a transitional president who promised that he was not going to run for a second term, refused to step down. Donald Trump has been convincing people of his message for almost 2 years. Do you understand me?
So for almost 2 years. Do you think she'll run again?
I don't know. Here's why I don't know. Here's the problem that you have with how she was thrust into this position and how our politics are supposed to be run. So initially, the Democratic Party is supposed to have a number of candidates, okay? They did not have a number of candidates this year because Joe Biden decided that he was going to run again. So he became the incumbent candidate, meaning that he was already in office. So the Democratic National Party had to throw their support behind him, okay? If they had done like the Republicans did, the Republicans had what, 30 something candidates initially,
and
They
then
were
just
prepared.
yeah,
They were prepared.
they narrowed it down to Trump. Okay, now Trump's own people, and let me also state that there were a lot of people who did not vote as well. Okay, because they did not want to see Kamala in office and they did not want to see Trump in office.
Fair
Mm.
enough.
So you got to think about the people who, the numbers of percentage of people who did get out and vote. If I've heard your message for 2 years, 2 years straight, and this woman has not convinced me of her abilities in the past 170 days, then who do you think I'm going to vote for?
But also, I think what you brought up the other day is it's very hard as well when you've already been in office of some degree and people are like, we've already seen what you had to offer and you ain't
So
done shit.
that's the other part.
So when you're doing that, it's kind of like you've already shown what you're going to wear to the party before you come to the party.
And what I keep trying to point out to other people, because they say, well, when she goes on interviews, she never talks about how she's going to change anything from the way Biden did it. And I said, let's put this on a corporate level. Let's take it out of the presidency and put it on a corporate level. Okay. You work for a job. You work as a person up under your boss. That's like them telling you, hey, you're going to get his job when he retires. But you currently work for him. He is not retired yet. He is not out of his position. So every day you have to go in and work with this person. If you start a campaign smearing this person and smearing this person's policy,
you didn't really believe in what he was going with in the first place. So why was you
So if you have a campaign, what's going to happen to your current? Because you got to remember something. Trump doesn't just go into office right away. He's got until January. So Kamala has to work with Joe Biden until
the next
January.
2-3 months. Yeah.
Yes. So she can't walk around smearing his name.
That's why I say, do you think she'll run again? Because I think things might be a lot different. But I don't think America's ready.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It was heavy on her.
Yeah.
She's now all alone, and she was gracious, and she was really.
I don't think you know how hard it is to run for office.
She took it to the highest road she could, really. But I know she's happy that it's done.
Yeah, like the 2 Black women that got into Senate this year, they had to fight for that. Okay, like it's a, like, you don't get that the fact that your personal life, you're under attack. Period.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the UK because I kind of looked it up after we was having a conversation and looking at how many Black women MPs we have. MPs, as you can see, members of Parliament behind us, and as a whole, the ethnic minority as a whole, male and female, is 66 out of 650 MPs. We've got 66. So not even
barely 10%,
right? Wow. Of that, 32 are ethnic minority women, which is 5%.
Ooh, Lord.
But let me tell you, of that 5%, high profile, I know 2, maybe 3, like visually. And so it makes me think about, and there's a lady called Diane Abbott that's here in the UK. She was the first Black female MP back in, I think she got elected like in the 70s. I want to say it's the 70s. Labour candidate. And they've done nothing but slate her. She's either too Black, too white, too this, to that. She's never been able to be her true self.
Yep.
Whenever she's been her true self, someone's come out and said, we don't like that. You're just a bit too black. You're fighting the black talk too much. We don't need that. If you become on the other side, you've got the black people going, she's not for us. She don't care about us. So you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't. Who would get into it? I mean, what I was going to say is,
Exactly.
I don't really know about Nicole. In France, have they got any?
They do have a few. Oh my God, they do have a few Arabic women and a few black men. There's actually one who is under suspicions because he was working for the government and true story, fucking every minister's wife. I'm not kidding.
Well, watch this. Well, at least he got something out of it. Okay?
And this guy was recording on videos and having all those ministers' wives.
Can I just say, yeah, you know when they were talking about, and plus you get certain benefits in this package, and
this dude, instead of working at on the government, he was fucking. And fucking his colleague's wife.
Well, hey,
now, Cammy, don't even do that.
Don't stop, Kitty. Don't stop, Kitty.
I'm not gonna blame him for it. I'm going to say maybe that's how he got it.
Making policies.
That's how he got
foreign. Yeah. There was not much to do.
We're laughing about it, but really it shows how corrupt the system is. So
but I do tend to think that black or ethnic minorities, black, whatever you want to say, I do feel like the spotlight is always on them a hell of a lot more than anyone else.
Oh, it is.
If they move a little bit to the right, if they fart, always.
But also the digging up of friends and family and past, and it goes on and on and on.
Well, let's talk about. I got some examples for you guys. Okay, let me since you say that, let me give you some reality on how that is very true. Donald Trump is a 36 times convicted felon. He's been accused of rape. He has been accused of having sex with underage girls. He is a known person to be on the Jeffrey Epstein Island. But he is a white alpha male who was allowed to run for president. Felons can't even vote for president in the United States. So if you are, and that's the question that I pose to the public. So now that our president is a felon, does that mean that felons will get to vote? Because what you're saying is the person that's holding the highest office in the United States as a white man is a felon, is a child molester, is a rapist, and goes against everything we say we stand for.
But then what someone was talking to me about Trump, and they said, "Oh, do you think Trump's a racist?" And I said, I honestly believe
this question to begin with. The person is not getting in.
I believe Trump is about financials.
No. So I'm going to tell y'all his story, and I'm going to let y'all know.
About himself, and he's a motherfucker.
It doesn't matter about race. What it's about is about opportunity.
That's what I'm saying.
So when we talk about him and people say to me, oh, well, he does very well in business. One of the things I like to combat them with is, oh, you don't know much about American history then. You don't know that the reason why the bankruptcy laws changed in America is because of Donald Trump. Wow. See, Donald Trump is a corrupt person. Not just it's not
100%, 100%, and all these cronies around him.
He is a criminal, okay? And let's talk about the people that he had in cabinet in his last when he was the last time president. Every last one of them are in jail right now.
Wow.
Okay. So let's talk about how he got his business and how he maintained his business. He's been a crook his entire life. Okay.
Yep.
Donald Trump would build buildings in various cities, states, and places, and he would file bankruptcy, and he would claim he could not pay the construction workers and the workers that worked for him in order to get the building built.
Wow.
So he never paid off any of his invoices and any of his bills, and he would file Chapter 13. He ruined Chapter 13 for everyone else here in America.
Wow.
They literally changed the laws because of him. So when you talk to me about him being a businessman and him knowing business and this, that, and the third, that's not true.
He's an opportunist.
Yeah. So
Yes.
also, let's talk about how he has run his campaign. Okay. So first, he is a manipulator. If you don't pay attention, he will do anything that he thinks he can do in order to get what he wants and what he desires. I don't know if he's a racist. The reason why I can't say yay or nay to that is because Donald Trump has slept with a lot of Black women.
Yeah, and I just feel like
listen, that's not a badge of honor.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying,
absolutely, I know that, but a lot of racists and a lot of people who want to manipulate people do sleep with the enemy.
Yeah, but these people, I'm not going to say these women were his enemy, because for a while he was toting them on his arm while he was still married to his wife. And this was before he decided to run for president.
But then once again, what I'm saying, so, okay, can I just open up a question? With Donald Trump in the White House now, going back to what we kind of are on this podcast, what does that mean for Black women in politics? Does he open the door for them, or he don't?
No, absolutely not.
And we have a problem that's beyond Donald Trump. See, what I've been trying to show people or talk to people about.
Do you think Kamala would as well? Would you think Kamala, do you think she would have opened the door for more Black women?
We'll come back to that. But let me say this to you. I honestly have to let you guys know that Donald Trump is merely a puppet right now in politics. We have something that's called Project 2025 that people really need to read. Okay. This was not authored by Donald Trump. This was not even his plan. Him being in office, JD Vance being his vice president, was all a planned situation. We've got a bigger problem than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a piece of the puzzle. It's not just him. We usually have checks and balances in politics that prevent people from doing certain things. We usually, when we have a Republican president, we have a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House. So there's a lot of blocks in place. And it goes the same with when we have a Democratic president, we have a Republican Senate and a Republican House. For some reason, it's worked out that way for years. This year, it is not that way. This year, we have a Republican president, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House. We have a huge problem. Project 2025 is a way to set back things that we have already put in place and that we were already. It started with affirmative action. It then went on to the abortion and women's health care rights. It is a lot of things that white supremacy. That's why I said this was infiltrated before Donald Trump came on the scene.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say something. When there's a movie that's been made after the Obama years, and how people were incensed that a Black man had been elected twice. And in this reportage, as they say in France, those white men were saying that this would never happen again.
This
they
was
would
not the first
everything in their power for this will not appear. I believe it should still be on Netflix.
It is.
What's it called?
I forgot the name of it, but I forgot the name of it. But those men were basically saying that they were disgusted to see a Black man in office, and that they will do everything in their power for it not to happen again. So it's been a long time coming. And all you see here with the results of this election is really the uh, white supremacist at play. White
And that's why I said that.
patriarchy.
So you don't believe whether Kamala, or Donald Trump will open any doors for anybody
So
of
I'm going to ask you a question, and I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear what I have to say about this. What did Obama do for Black Americans?
nothing. But what could he do?
What do you say nothing? That's he didn't say
No, no,
nothing.
no.
You have
Actually, let me
you
read.
have health insurance because of him.
No, no,
You
no.
have
Okay, yeah, yeah.
your
No, but
your
when I mean, it's not really.
you know
I don't really know the ins and outs of what he changed.
exactly. In that
However, what
case,
I
say
will
that. In
So
say,
that case,
I'm
say
going to
that.
say this to you, and I'm going to dispute you, Nicole, and I'm actually going to have to agree with Lauren. And quite a few Black Americans feel the same way that I do. Obama did absolutely nothing for Black Americans.
but what I will say though, I believe that for a snapshot in time, just a snapshot, it did give people, I think, a golden thread even to enter the world of politics. Does that make sense?
Well, it did, but
Maybe they didn't
I'm
carry
gonna
on.
say this to you.
Maybe they
Remember, I said I was gonna come back to how I felt about Kamala.
yeah.
Kamala is a woman, okay? Kamala is a woman, and she governs differently than we know that women do things differently than men.
Differently than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her threat of being in power is a little bit different than Obama's threat. Do you understand? Kamala has the opportunity to make real change in places that Obama would not be able to. You got, like, I love, they wanted Michelle Obama to run for office because they realized she had more power than her husband did.
100%. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
she's a bad, watch your mouth. I think
Yeah.
she would have come in and
Yeah. They
listen.
realized,
But she was like, I don't even want it. I don't even want
She
it.
knew. She said herself that her husband running for president almost tore their marriage apart.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, they wanted her because they knew she had more power, more what's the word? Influence, more, more of a dynamic with people than
Mhm.
her husband ever would have. She does, and that's because women govern differently. If you look at countries that have been run by women, if you look at all of these places that have had women leaders in political places, they, and I'm gonna have to exclude the UK on this one, okay?
I was about to say, when that one in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. Y'all had the main colonizer in office over there, so
I get you because my
yeah,
friend is from Barbados
yeah,
and their prime minister at the moment. Let me tell you, the Bajans are like, she's the best thing that
yeah,
ever happened to Barbados
yeah,
in years.
and that's
She
not,
don't put up
yeah,
with no shit.
That's the price.
Bajans first. Bajans first. You know, the fact that they wanted to remove their attachment with the Commonwealth. All of that is come from her. Yeah.
Good.
And I think
Good.
it's about, I think as well with women, especially black women, if you are very strong like a Michelle Obama, you know, you're like, yeah, I'm here and I'm black. And
yeah,
and then what else can people say? You know, if you try
Mhm.
to go, I'm black, but I'm for everybody. I'm black, but and you try to mix and you try to water down who you are, people see through that shit and they don't like it.
mhm,
But if you come and you're
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm black, and guess what? I will put my black women first because they've been at the bottom of the pole for too long. What else can anyone do? All right, they might not like it, but I think that's what she was about.
yeah. And that's why I said it's a little bit different. I can't tell you what Kamala would have done had she gotten in office, but I can give you the statistics of
Well, she
what
has been in.
yeah.
She has been in.
Well, she has, but she hasn't, and that's really hard for me
As
to.
a deputy president,
Vice president.
sorry, uh, do you not get to do anything then? What is your role as a vice president then?
You don't really you support the policies of the president. I don't know, and I'm gonna have to say this. I don't know that her policies are the same as Joe Biden's. Here's why. She comes from a different place than he comes from. He's looking at more global, they focus more on rights of everybody, rights of all the people, rights of the LGBT community.
Rather than just starting at home.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what she would have done, because I don't think she's been given the opportunity to actually show what she would have done as a leader. I think 170 days wasn't enough to convince anybody that you were the right person for the job when you've been the second hand to the person that everybody's blaming for the economy. And you can't really speak about him until you get from up under him. You can't say that Biden economics is a mess or this, that, and the third.
What I'm saying, when you go into, so I'm just looking at this in another way. Nicole, you've got a boss and he's got his vision for this company, right? And then he says, you know what, Nicole, I've seen that you're really doing well, and I want to make you my right hand. Yeah. I want to make you my number two.
Yes, basically that's what the vice president is.
This is my vision. At what point do you say, nah, that ain't my stuff, that ain't my vision? So because that's what, or she's basically what you're saying, she's just gone into it for what? Shits and giggles?
No, you got to put your foot in the door some kind of way, and that's our lives.
Which is fine. Women. You can put your foot in the door. The problem,
but then if you're gonna, and let me say this to you: if you're gonna bring it up like that, then you just proves why she didn't win.
But that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if you in yourself, she must have known. I ain't really done much over these last. There's no way I'm going to get this over the line because I haven't really done much.
The thing to her credit, she showed up for the Democratic Party, unlike all her counterparts.
And that's what we're going to do.
Well, there wasn't a counterpart. Let me say this, Nicole. There wasn't a counterpart. There wasn't a counterpart. There wasn't a counterpart. There was nobody else to show up for the Democratic Party. Yeah, there's no counterpart. Exactly. That's why right now the country's not mad at her. They're mad at Joe Biden. Okay. Yeah. They're not concerned about support. They're mad at him because they did not. The Democratic Party is pointing fingers at him, not at her. So what they're saying is exactly what I said in the beginning. She was thrust into something that she didn't even know she was gonna she was prepared for it, because as Black women, we're always prepared for it. But she was thrust into something that she did not know she was gonna have to be a part of. Yeah. So they're not pointing fingers at her.
The thing is, they can pinpoint things and put things on Biden, but all of them in the Democratic Party need to look at each other deeply. Yeah, really. Exactly. It's because of
what needs to happen, and let me just be very clear with you all on something. What needs to happen is there needs to be an overhaul of American
Absolutely. All the old guards need to go. We have some people that have been too long.
Here's the problem you got, with your country. I've got some issues. I'm going to talk to you guys about some other things. I talked about there being two Black women who were elected into Senate, and that's something that has never happened. So Angela Brooks is a Democrat from Maryland. She was elected this year. She was the first Black woman to represent Maryland in Senate. We are in 2024. Okay. Now, Lisa Blunt Rochester was also elected in Delaware. She is Delaware's first Black female senator. Okay.
So let me represent for the man for once. Monroe Nichols makes history as the first Black mayor in the history of Tulsa,
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Ah,
Yeah, so all I'm saying to you guys is we have to be aware of where we are in history.
Mhm.
So yes, what she did was she opened doors for the possibility of another Black woman saying, "Hey, you know what? I think I want to run for
Mhm.
president, or I want to do this, or I want to do that." But guess what? Donald Trump can't run for president again.
no.
No, he
That
can't.
is
So what they've already predicted is that in 2 years, everybody who is on his cabinet, in his team, and on his side is gonna turn on him.
Hmm.
oh yeah,
Why?
like the previous did, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've already predicted that. They've already said, first of all, his last vice president, Mike Pence, came out and stated that Donald Trump did not need to be president again. This was the
Yeah.
guy who ran with him the first time, who
Hmm.
served 4
Exactly.
years
Yes,
with him
we
the
forgot
first.
about that. That is true, Cami.
Can
Yeah.
I just ask that at a senior political level, what has been some of the things that have come out about Kamala that you think of nothing? So they
So
like,
I'm going to tell
No,
you
nothing
her problem.
really.
I'm going to give you her problem. Her problem is that she was the prosecutor for the state of California for as many years as she was. So what you have is, and this is where I say American politics have become very selfish. We don't really think about the other people all over the world, all over the United States. We only think about what happens in our city, in our state, and all where we are. Okay. um what people in California said were they weren't voting for her anyway.
oh wow, because
Yeah.
she looked them up.
No, because of what her stance was. A lot of them felt like she locked up their family members
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
unwarranted.
which is
Yeah.
actually not
She
true.
had no,
There's,
Yeah.
she had a no nonsense
but
policy.
by
Yeah,
the way,
So
California remained blue.
it did.
So
right.
Yeah. But what and that's what my point is, we've got personal opinions attached to politics now.
that is
We,
very
we
true.
are no longer voting from a place of what's best for the
And what
country.
I will say is that the really worrying thing, I think, coming from UK, is that obviously US is our big brother as such. You know, the U and especially now we're out of the European Union, but the
Mhm.
UK, I mean, the US is literally like, look, is
We supposed to be like this
right.
with each other. Yeah.
And while you lot haven't got your shit in order and all this stuff's going on, and we've got Donald Trump in a tutu doing what he's doing, you've got BRICS that is coming. You know, these people are organizing their shit properly. Russia, South Africa, Brazil, it's coming together China is coming together very nicely. So we, I say
So
we,
let me just say this: we're in trouble. Okay. And here's the
trouble's a
part
light
that
word. Trouble
here's
is a
the
light
part
word. Trouble
here's the
means you're
part
going to get
that
slapped on the hand.
Americans are not paying attention to. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin have been very good friends for almost 30 something years. So you can't tell me that Trump is not going to support whatever Russia decides to do.
Yep.
He has no choice, though, Cammy. What I'm
So
saying is,
I've got my own
The
theory.
US is no longer the powerhouse it was, and now you've got BRICS coming together. They are even smaller. You've got China, Russia, Brazil, South Africa coming. Are you crazy? That is a whole
Don't forget about the
different.
countries in the Middle East, Saudi America.
Exactly,
Yeah, they're all coming together.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so
Right.
the
And let
US
me
is
let
no
me be
longer the
very
big
clear with
brother.
you. Their number one target will be who?
US.
Yes.
And us little.
Wait, the UK and the US. Yeah. Because we for
You're
so
right. Oh,
long,
you're right.
yeah,
The European Union will be
yeah.
like,
For
that's
so
you.
long, the US and the UK have had a stronghold on politics all over the world. We have been messing in other people's business for a very
Mhm.
long
For a
time,
long
trying to
Creating
tell
wars,
people
making this
how
peer
to run
president,
stuff, how to do this, how to do that, going to war with people because they don't want to follow our policies and doing all of
sending
that.
weapons.
So,
So
Nicole, do you worry about what effect America and the politics is going to have on France, or you don't think it actually has any kind of?
Oh, it does. It does.
And what would
Because,
you say?
because people are going to feel enabled to, enabled to act whatever the fuck they want. And
And
it's
that's
going to
the
be okay.
message I
And it's going to
believe.
be okay to attack any black and brown people
I
now.
feel like the message that Donald Trump
Because
has
honestly, that's
shown.
what has happened in France.
Yeah,
Really, there's
I
been
feel like
a lot of
that's the
killing.
message he's given across, isn't it? That, you know what, as long as you've got enough money and power, you can do what the hell you want.
well, he
Yeah,
said that.
this is
He
what,
has
what did I
said
just
that.
say? This is what patriarchy and supremacy at its best. We do what the fuck we want. We don't care about y'all. We take your resources. We take everything from you, and we hate women. That's it.
Colonization.
It's coming back.
Let me talk about this so people can really understand what's going on. So as you know, I was in my lovely homeland in Martinique a few weeks, actually a week and a half ago. My tan is still there, but holding on. But anyways, I digress. But this is what's happening right now in Martinique. People are paying their groceries between 40 to 60% more expensive than in the mainland, than in France. And I believe in Martinique, Guadeloupe, there's unrest also in other French territories. And this is what the effect of colonizations are. The salaries are lower in Martinique, and the infrastructures, of course, are not the same. But to give you an example, we have monoculture in Martinique. We produce bananas and pineapples. That's the only thing that you see when you driving through the island. With my daughter, we counted all the banana field that we could see, and it was just mind-boggling. But what they do, we produce the banana, we sell it abroad, and then this same Martinique banana get
Comes
resold back
back. That's the
at the
same thing
higher
that
price.
happens. That's what happens in so basically in
At the
Jamaica, the
higher
same thing is
price.
happening.
And I'm
So
glad that you're saying this also, Lauren.
exactly the
Because
same
people
thing in
don't
Jamaica is
realize.
happening. So basically, they've got an agreement with the states that only certain things can only come from the states. So they can't be, grown and produced in their own homeland. It's got, and as a part of it, everything's been driven up. Everything. People, I don't
Mhm.
understand how people in the Caribbean period are living. I do not know. I do not know how they are living, because it's like I was told it's cheaper to buy food in a restaurant or off the street than it is to go food shopping.
This is like, come on, you know. And they have the thing also, they have somehow brainwash the people into thinking that really going into a big grocery store like Carrefour, that's the name of them in France, and any other brand in the UK, is the epitome of, being high end. When, let me tell you, in my neighborhood where my family is
The
from,
produce
there's
is
avocado trees, there's papaya trees, there's banana
exactly
trees. I move
crazy,
home and I got plenty of things for free
crazy.
out of the road, and people don't give a shit. That shit piss me off.
But that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm telling you now, you know, I was gonna ask, what you feel like in France, the effect when you say people feel like they're gonna be able to just do what they want. Do you? I don't know the French relationship with US. Is it quite tight? Is it as
No,
tight as the UK?
we are close partners to the US on many
It's the same. Listen, all
economic
three
things.
colonizing countries,
They
France,
work
UK,
together.
and the
They have
USA.
common
Yeah,
interests.
They have common interests.
So where do you
So
think Germany sits then? Places like Germany and Italy and that. Where do you think they sit?
That is a good question.
that's a very good question.
That is a very good question. I'm not too sure, to tell you the truth, because for Germany, there is in the back of their mind that, the Second World War and all the drama that came from this, and they don't want to be in a position of
They don't
being
want to be in that
the
position
villain
anymore.
again. So they're going to be very cautious. And usually German are rather cautious on the way that they act and do things,
They're very neutral, like Switzerland, I want to
Yes,
say.
yes. But the thing for us in France, I can see it in the way, a few months, actually last year at the end of the year, there were unrest also in France, where a young Arabic man been killed by the police, and there were manifestation in many big cities in France, and there were some organizations that were ready to beat up on Black and Brown and Arabic.
Mhm.
People don't mention that because France is really an hypocrite and love to point the US with their fingers. Oh, look at what's happening there, but they don't deal with their own shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that is the truth. There's really in France right now factions that are ready to just attack Black people. And
So
that is
Mhm.
this,
the truth.
I mean, well, him coming in, everybody, I think a lot. What I'm gauging is everyone's thinking about their pockets by Donald Trump being in office. He's a man who's going to make them have money in their pocket.
No, you
How
don't.
people go about it, that's what I get that
So
sentence.
let's talk about some other things that are going to be affected by
Mhm.
this particular thing. So let's talk about the fact that reproductive rights and healthcare
I wanted to
access.
bring that up.
Yeah. Now this isn't, and I'm gonna refocus this just towards Black women, but just let me just say this. We've already are at a standpoint of where we get disproportionate health care, but it's going to make it worse for us. We as Black women have the highest maternal mortality rate, not just in the United States, but globally. Okay.
Yeah,
So this here, these type of decisions don't just affect us politically; they affect our health, they affect our safety. Because another thing that's going to be overlooked in this with this is human trafficking laws, those type of things, and with all of the political instability throughout the entire world, we as
yeah,
Black women become the target where like right now you don't see a lot of stories about young Black girls going missing, and a lot of these girls are actually missing and sold off into human trafficking, and there's nobody looking for them because nobody cares about us as Black women. So
yeah,
these are issues that we're still going to face and that are going to get worse for us. Also, economic inequality. We don't get paid the right amount of money. We don't get paid the money that we deserve. Kamala proved that even if you're qualified for a position, you're not going to get that
And
position.
we've spoken about that a few episodes,
yeah,
So
right?
those are things
yeah,
that are not going to change. Also, access to education. A lot of Black women in the United States go to school based up under the affirmative action laws. And the reason why that is because the affirmative action laws don't just cover Black women. I mean, don't just cover people of color. They cover gender as well. If that law is overturned, us going to school, us getting education, career opportunities, those things are going to be affected also.
yeah.
We talked about political representation, not just here in the United States, but Leon, you talked about it in the UK. Do you realize that that's not just a problem in the UK? That's a problem in Canada. It's
Yeah.
a problem in Brazil. It's a problem in France.
It's a problem globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
really a problem. The US is actually a micro view, a massive view actually, of all the issues happening all over the world.
World.
Yeah.
The
So
system in which we are living right now is based on the exploitation of others. And as long as the system's going to be like this, there's things going to be popping off. Things need to change.
Australia has no black women in their parliament. Germany, they elected their first black woman in 2021.
Wow.
So we have to understand that the United States politics is only a slight view into what's going on all over the
Yeah,
world.
because really and truly,
Thank
as
you
we
for
always
saying
say,
so.
if you
Yeah,
when you shift the numbers into percentage, the percentages are all the same
Yeah.
because you have a bigger population in the US anyway. So if you say
yeah,
there's this amount of people, within cabinet, or what do you call them over there? What are,
Senate and House. That's what I was
right,
telling you. Yeah.
Senate and House.
yeah.
So if you've got a certain amount of people in Senate and House of ethnic minority, it probably will mirror the same as the UK and France, but obviously on a percentage level compared to what the population is. But then,
Mhm.
okay, let me just flip something on its head. Why are people not going back to places in Africa then? Because
But
of corruption.
listen, Cami, people are going to be exiting the US, and people are going to be thinking about relocating to places where they're going to feel safe, they're going to feel valued.
They already
And
are. They
it's
already
been
are.
Where am I going? Where am I going in February?
it's been on people, on Black women minds for quite
Yeah.
some time. And I know plenty of people because I've talked to many of my American friends yesterday, and many of them told me, "Oh, you know what?
But what I'm
Deuces."
trying to say is that you don't hear about many going
You want me to tell you
We
why?
don't hear
back
it
to
here
the motherland.
I'm gonna
people are
give you
not.
the real reason why. It's got a lot to do with political brainwashing. Okay, so we as educated as we are, as many degrees as we get, one of the things we don't do is enough research. Okay, and political brainwashing has taught us that our motherland and our homeland is a third world country. Okay,
Mm.
so
Which
you
is
have
not.
to think about how many women who really want to leave here. Because see, brainwashing has also told us that there's nothing for us in Africa. So
I beg to differ at the moment because
no,
I believe
no,
we
no.
are.
I'm telling you, I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
you,
yeah, no. Mm.
it is. It really
No,
is.
no. What I'm saying, I understand that there was an element of that, but I do believe that in the internet and social media has allowed us to have a bit more view about what Nigeria looks like, a bit
So
more
it
view
Yeah,
of what
doesn't
and
Ghana
matter.
looks like.
It may give you that view, but if you're constantly being told, or if you already been told for about 20 to 30 years that this is what it's like over there, and when they show pictures here, what they're showing, see, let me explain something to you. For years, they ran commercials online asking
Same
people
here.
to
With
give
money.
money
You
back.
had the babies with the flies around their face. I get it, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying, a
So, but
massive
what did I just say? People fail to. What was my first statement? People
their
fail
research.
to
But
do their
to say
own
something that
research.
is true, you have a good point, Cami.
Yeah.
But also, the millennials are traveling much more,
Yeah, that's what I was going to
much
say.
more,
You got
much
people.
more
There
than we
are a
did.
lot of kids who are doing their research, who are going out here. It's kids that live in Thailand, in China. It's Black people everywhere. So that's
yeah.
why when my family asked me about moving to Vietnam and being able to connect with people in Vietnam, one of the things I told them, I said, listen, I've already connected with a couple that's from here in Atlanta that live in the same city that I'm moving to.
But for
Yeah.
me,
Mhm.
I'm hearing that like in being back and forth to Portugal and understanding what's been going on there, the American people are going in droves. What I'm not hearing, considering it's a massive thing now where all American women want this Nigerian prince, or want this Nigerian man. There's a big but there was a big movement, right, at one point where Nigerian men or African men were very popular in the US, right? As like, well, that's what it was
No,
perceived to be. No,
no, that's social media
I
That's what
thought
I,
bullshit.
that's what I told you. See what I
that's
say
what I
about
thought was happening. I
That's
thought
what I
that
social
say
media
about
bullshit.
political imagery, what I'm saying about brainwashing, what I'm saying about how
I
they
thought
make
there
things.
was a massive thing about like, oh, you know what, I want to get an African prince, an affluent prince, or whatever it is, and that was like
No,
the
no.
go-to. And I thought that in that being such a thing in the States, that maybe people would then say, I want to visit these places.
The
But
people, let me say this, the reasons we go back to Africa have nothing to do with me. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you get a drove of people going back to Africa, they're going back because they're trying to find themselves. They're trying to find what tribe they belong to. They're trying to find what country they originate from. Because that's what's important to us. It's not and when I say this, I hope I'm not disrespecting any Nigerian or Black people in Africa, but most of the time Nigerian men get bad reps over here for being scam artists and doing yeah, they don't,
That is kind of true.
it's
That is
not
kind of
like
true.
that.
But
You
let's
don't
not
keep on.
forget. Let's not forget. And Lauren, I'm just gonna cut you really quickly on that. A lot of countries in Africa have partnered to create the year of the return. So
Yeah,
Black people from African descent could go back home. For
yeah,
example, in the Caribbean, there's a big population, which I didn't know, that I learned when I was in Martinique,
Gambia, they're going to Gambia.
that have been living in Benin.
yeah.
Oh, I
And
was going
that's
to
why
say,
I say
And Gambia is a massive thing right now
if
for
we're
Been
going back
returning
to
to Africa
Africa,
low
yeah,
key.
we're
I've been
going back
returning to,
home.
yeah,
We're not going
going
back
back
for
home.
men. We're going back
no,
to
Back
our
home.
identity.
there's a massive I would say probably people in their 60s that are of a more cultural, maybe like the Rastafari that kind of thing. They are going to Gambia in droves because
Yeah.
they say that Gambia is kind of like what Jamaica was 30 years ago, had that
And
more
then let's
roots.
not
Gambia,
forget that a lot of
Ghana.
these places have been colonized, and I don't even want to say Americanized because it's the same with France and UK. So they've been colonized. They have been put on the map, and now they're over.
Highest bidder,
Yeah,
once again, the
yeah,
highest bidder.
the
The
highest
highest
bidder.
bidder. They get put into office by the Americans, the UK, the people that are in these places. They get put in there for a specific reason. Because I've always wondered, and I'd love to speak to someone from some of these countries, Ghana, Nigeria, where Sierra Leone, whatever. I'd love to ask them if they actually honestly believe that the people that are in power, that they have in power, are actually for the people.
No,
No, of
and you
course
can
not.
see it because of how many revolts take place
Yeah.
in these places.
And how
These
many
people, yeah,
recently, a few months ago, France was sending troops into Senegal, Mali,
I
and
was going
other
to say, I
countries
can't
That's what I'm
because
remember.
saying. Why
Yeah,
do
what's the
France
name
need
of
to
that?
do that?
It was an African country,
because
and that told Joe
easily.
Biden to keep his aid and his support because people in America needed it more than they did. Because Joe Biden threatened an African country and said that he was going to take away the support and aid and all of this. And I can't remember which country it was, but the leader told Joe Biden, keep your aid, keep your support, keep whatever it is that you're trying to give us. We don't want it because the people that live in your country actually need it more than we do.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
because this is
It's
the
been a
lesson that,
fiery show, ladies. It's been a fiery
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Yeah, like
the
politics.
leftover of colonization is well alive in those countries, Senegal, Mali, Niger, plenty of countries. It is just It is just kind of mind blowing. But some African countries have said, yeah, you know what? Fuck y'all, no more. Get out. France have been kicked out of Niger not so long ago. Like
Yeah,
they were like,
like
yeah, motherfucker, yeah, bye, go back home.
they are,
You
when
know?
I say they're revolting in these places, they are revolting. They don't
Yeah,
want any more of the American support, the UK support. They don't want any more of that
French
because
support. Yeah,
it comes at a price for them. It comes at a price. It's almost like selling your soul to the devil.
And I
it
know I've got a lot
would
of
be.
friends here that are actually, I mean, my age, that are now building back in their homeland of wherever it is, Ghana, whatever it is, to actually
Mhm.
make that transition to go from here back there.
That's
And they're
my
not even
goal.
from there. They're not even, they're British born, but
Yeah.
they're realizing it ain't for them.
Yeah, but
You know,
I've
and
been born in France, and France, I don't feel like France is my home. I'm not when I am in France, I am not feeling like I am at home.
yeah,
This is not home for me.
You
wow.
guys already know my plight. You already know my
That's
plan.
it. We have to
You,
get on.
you already know that I have no desire to be a part of this American culture
The
anymore.
circus.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Mm,
it's tiring for Black women. Let's
mm,
mention that it is tiring for your health, for your peace, for everything.
I
You
mm.
know,
watched
it is
I watched a
tiring.
video the other day, because you guys know I'm about my plan to move, and I watched a video the other day, and I think I told you guys about this video once before. So I watched it again, where this Black woman was being interviewed about being in Vietnam, and one of
Mm.
the things they asked her, what did she feel was the best thing about being there, and she said she felt more free. She felt
Yeah.
more freedom. And somebody commented in the comments, how can it's crazy that you can go from a place that claims to have all of these freedoms to a communist country and feel more free.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
so
but the thing people don't realize, it's because there's this propaganda about communism in the US where it really shown at the villain, but many communist country are good to live in,
Yeah.
actually.
Like, listen, you guys, the economy here in the US sucks, okay? It
Mm.
is horrible. It is horrible, 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 horrible. Groceries have gone up. The cost of living is high. The cost of living doesn't even match the rate of pay, okay?
Mm.
So we've got issues here. And people who visit here know that what they call us ghetto, and they do that because it's like that for a reason. You're sold a dream outside of the United States that you're going to come here and you're going to live this glamorous life. But now I understand why people come here to work. The US dollar does
Mhm.
carry weight in other countries. Like with me moving to Vietnam, and I've expressed this to you guys. I think I even sent Lauren the picture of the house that I'm trying to rent. It's a 3-bedroom, 4-bath house, and it's only 525 US dollars a month. There's nowhere
Well,
here in the US I'm gonna be able to find anything
the
like
last time my rent was $500. That was long,
that was when you was
long.
at home, Nicole. That was
that. Yeah, like
when
I was right
when
before
you were
you.
with
That
parents.
was long ago. It
Right.
was when I just arrived in
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a 2-bedroom apartment in Harlem where nobody wanted to live at the time, with dorman, laundry, everything you name
Wow.
it, wood floor, French doors, and I think my rent was 689.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been years since we've had that type of economy. Nicole,
Yeah,
before you jumped on, I was talking to Lauren about planning a retreat over in Vietnam. And I was telling her about
that's a good idea.
one of the rooms at the Sheraton. They have a junior suite at the Sheraton where you have your own pool attached, not a pool that everybody else goes to. You have your
Your
own pool
own home.
in
Mm,
your
You know
at
what
your
that means, Nicole?
so you step outside onto your patio. There's a pool for you. There's a balcony. There's all of this stuff. Do you know how
I
much
have
that
a bathing suit.
look? Do you know how much that room cost?
Ooh,
And
tell us.
Here in America, that room would run you $1,000 and something. That
Oh,
room,
even more with
that
private pool.
room, yeah,
Oh,
that
at least
room,
between $1,500 $2,000 a night.
yeah, that room in Vietnam is $100.
Woo! I'm gonna be coming to
So
see
we're there
you,
for a month, yeah, Nicole.
Logan.
And it's
We
now
will come
listen,
and visit
this is
you.
a kicker. It's not at an off-brand name hotel. It's at the Sheraton. This is a hotel that is known here in the United States.
Yep.
This is a high quality
Worldwide.
hotel.
Shows you the
Worldwide.
it shows you. It shows you,
Yeah,
guys.
We just, for everything that is happening in the world right now, we're going to have to really amp our self care. We're going to have to take care of each other. We're going to have to take care of ourselves and mind our business.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Like what I posted on Facebook today was political change does not change anything for us.
No.
You guys, we have been through this. I am 40 years
Yeah,
old.
it's
I
not
will be
new. It's
I
not
will
new.
be 45 years old next year, and it doesn't matter who is in office. My life is my life based upon how I dictate my life. It's not like
Amen.
we haven't faced these things before. It's not like we haven't seen this happening before. Anybody
Mhm.
who grew up in the 80s remembers Reaganomics. Anybody who grew up, in America before these recent years understand that this is nothing new for us
No.
politically. So why are you so
Different face, same shit, basically.
pretty much?
Because you know what? I think it feels like people are forgetting.
Yeah.
People are forgetting and not staying vigilant.
No, but you
That's
know what I feel like? I feel like it to me
and
from the
and by the way, I blame social media for that.
There
I,
you
I
go.
feel, I feel like the outside looking in though, it seems a bit like a social experiment. Let's see how fucked up we can make a candidate and these dummies are still going to vote for him. Do you
It
know what I
is.
mean?
It is though. It is. It's not like
Like
there's
let's
no
get a guy that's got no arms, no legs, does every shitty thing that he can do under the sun, and we're putting them out. And I bet you any money these dumb people are
Watch
going to
this.
still
Watch
vote
this.
for him.
Donald Trump couldn't get his wife to go on his campaign trail with him until the last few days.
Exactly.
That's
She
it.
don't even like him.
It's not her, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
She
not
doesn't-
her.
She
Wow,
doesn't want
guys.
anything to do with him. Have you seen his children
No.
on this campaign
This is
trail
just
with him?
him. This is just a little,
But
Well,
But
on-
what it shows you is it shows you the state of mind of people here in the United States. Okay, it shows you that even though we want other countries to be perfect and other countries to do this, that, and the third, we're just as fucked up as everywhere else.
if not worse, you're in a magnifying glass. Hey, what can I say,
yeah,
guys?
but honestly, at the spiritual level, though, it is a basically very realist view of what all the bad things you can wish to someone are.
Mhm.
Misogyny, racism,
Yeah,
stupidity,
that's what I'm saying.
ignorance.
Well, can I just say this? How
It's
does the
just-
U.S. have a right to go into another country and tell them how they should treat
They
their
haven't.
women, how they should treat the people in
They
their
haven't.
country?
They've been
Because
doing it for
friends-
so long,
friends
and
do
now
the
social
same.
media is allowing them to
do
think.
the same. Friends do the same. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Oh, what
The
are you
UK
doing?
exactly the same. We've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, because
But
this
now these countries are
here-
waking up. These countries are waking up, and slowly but surely they're saying, no,
Yeah.
get your own shit in order.
yeah, because this
I'm going
government
to tell y'all what's going to happen, and this is going to be the truth. And this is where the U.S. is going to be fucked up. Russia's going to turn on the U.S., and you know who Russia's going to start to recruit? Black people.
Yep,
Yeah.
and the rest,
Russia,
and the rest.
Yeah. there's good things for that.
Yeah,
And the
Russia's
thing
going to
is
turn on
so
the U.S. and in turning, what they're going to do, and heed my word to this, okay? They're going to. They've never, Donald Trump may be friends with Vladimir Putin, but one thing about Vladimir Putin is he has admitted the truth. He found the stuff that not that said that the Madonna was black, that all of these. He came out and said that. Watch what he is doing. When he turns on the UK and the US, he's not going to turn on the ones that look like us. He's going to start recruiting us. He's going to start offering things to us that's going to make for a better life for us.
Let's see.
That is scary because the thing is, we need to think also as possibilities of wars as well.
Oh,
The
it's
US,
no possibilities. It's going down. You
you
understand?
know,
It is
because
about to happen. And it's
you
guess
know,
where it's going to take place at? Guess where it's going to take place? Right here in the United States.
Of course. That's where they're going to come straight away.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's going to take
because
place right here. Yeah. All
gonna
right,
be,
you guys. It's time for us to wrap this up. I'm going to give you guys a moment. Lauren, what do you want to add that we haven't?
Jesus.
Get your house in order. Get your shit together, get your shit together. Anyway, I don't even care because I'm out of here too. I don't know where I'll be, but maybe Mars. I think I'm going to move to Mars.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
As long as they got some good Peruvian, I'll be in Mars, baby.
Listen, Elon Musk has got Mars on lock. We need another planet, okay?
Okay, we'll find another one. Mercury.
All right, Nicole, what about you? What say you?
Oh, just I know it's a lot, but just stay positive, and there's definitely a play and something at play here on the spiritual level. There's something that we all need to be aware of because Black women have been sounding the alarm for the longest time, and now everybody gonna feel it, and they're gonna understand finally what it is. And we have, as Black women, we need to take care of each other, take care of ourselves, and mind our business. I'm going to be minding my business. I'm going to be minding my business, making sure that my family is okay, that my money is right, and fuck y'all. That's it. This is what it's gonna be. This is what it's gonna be because I don't have time. I don't have time for 57% of white women voting again for Trump's. I don't have time. I'm gonna be minding my business. If you're true, you will find me. We will be friends. If you're not, fuck off. Do the work. And that is to stay for all the Black men hating on Black women. Yeah. Do the work. If you have mommy issues, it's not our problem. Do the work and fuck off. That's it.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna piggyback on what Nicole said. I think Black women need to start minding their own business. And that's it. I think we need to stop being the catalyst to help other people, other genders, other cultures fight for what they believe in. I think other cultures need to stop relying on us to do that. Because guess what? There's nothing in this shit for us.
Because nobody comes for us. Nobody comes to
There's a book that I absolutely love. It's called Nobody's Coming to Save Us. And that's the stance that Black women need to take all over the world. Nobody is coming to save us. We are saving everyone else. We're being the strong Black woman. We're being the nurturer. We're being everything that they have stereotyped us to be. And I want to tell Black women, get out here and you start make the same way we are making strides in entrepreneurship and in education. We need to be fighting for those same things in politics. Fuck trying to get somebody else elected. You get out there, you run, you get yourself elected so that you have the seat for the best interest for Black women. And if you don't have Black women's best interest at stake, fuck off. Like Nicole said.
Be the change you want to see. That's it.
That's it. We have to start taking up these roads. We have to start taking up
Mhm.
all of these places. Make yourself known, Black women. Get out there, do it. Become the commissioners in these states. Become
Yeah.
the mayors. Become. I just stated that no Black woman has ever governed a state in the United States. We are in 2024.
Yeah.
Get out there and run for office. Do what is best for you. And no, you're not, it's not going to be an easy road. And yes, we're going to face adversity, but this isn't the first time we faced adversity. And all of our ancestors speak air to that. We have faced adversity from the moment we stepped foot in the United States. The moment they put us on those boats. That is how far back our adversity goes. And here in 2024, I think it's been what, 600 years? We still are in the same position that we were then. Black women
Yeah.
were the catalyst for the civil rights movement here in the United States. We need to be the catalyst for ourselves. No more putting men in front of us, no more putting white women in front of us, no more doing that. Get out here and you make the stride. You make the difference. Build up your own communities and fight in your communities. Even if it's
Yes.
just a bunch of Black women together, we need to get together and we need to fight for what's at our best interest, not anybody else's, not the
Mhm.
Black man, not the Chinese man, not the nobody else's. What's best for Black women? Because guess what? Wherever you go in the world, we are the bottom of the totem pole. There is no representation for us anywhere except for in smaller countries. And I need us to have representation everywhere because we live everywhere.
Yeah, and that's because we need to be at a new, and really seriously, we need to come to a new level of activation and accountability.
Yeah.
We really do. We really do. So we can show up the way the spirit intended for us to. Because the ancestor didn't suffer like they did for us to come to this. They did
No.
not, you
All right,
know.
ladies, we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you so much for giving your political views and
Hey,
opinions about everything.
I
So
wasn't sensitive. I have been having this on my heart, Jesus.
I finally let you get it out. Now, listen, we do have a website. As you see, it's going across the bottom of the screen, www.dearblackwoman.me. If you would like to voice your opinion, write an article, tell us what you feel like, you can go do so on the website. And you know what? Next week, I'll even produce a commercial showing you how to do it. So, with that being said, you guys, tk you so much for being on
Yeah,
the show
thank you,
today.
Camille. I think it was nice to be able to review this and
It
get this
was
out of our heart,
good.
out of our bodies,
Good.
so we can just focus on our energy on action now. That's
Yeah.
all that we
Now,
need to
next
do.
week, you guys, we're talking about relationships. So that should be fun too. And guess who's coming back?
Leo, the lion, the
Yes,
lion, the
Leo the
lion.
Lion will be back next week.
That's gonna be nice. That's
Yes.
gonna be nice.
And we have a few other guests as well. We have relationship specialist Samantha Gregory, who will be here, and we have a few other men who we will be bringing to the platform and
Ooh,
the stage to talk about relationships with Black women and relationships in the Black community. So I am looking forward to next week's conversation. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this conversation
thank you,
today.
Camille, for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those of you who have listening, thank you for joining us for this thought-provoking episode of Dear Black Woman. We hope today's conversation helps shed light on the real ways global politics shapes our lives as Black women, influencing everything from our freedoms to our opportunities. Remember, our voices matter, not just within our own communities, but on a global stage. If you found this episode to be meaningful or you found something poignant in it, please don't forget to like, share, and comment on your favorite podcast platform. It helps us continue these important conversations. And again, a special thank you to Rabbit Productions for the music that gives our podcast this unique vibe. And until next
Yay.
time, Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, the power of our unity across borders lies with you.
Yes.
Dear Black Woman is a podcast where we dive into the challenges, current events, and everyday realities Black women face around the world.
We're here to share real stories, offer practical advice, and create a safe space for authentic conversations that empower and inspire.
Join us each week as we connect, uplift, and celebrate the resilience and strength of Black women everywhere. Listen to Dear Black Woman on your favorite podcast platform.